Buongiorno. I'm in the town of Taormino on the island of Sicily. Sicily has had a very, very interesting past. From its ancient past, it was part of the Carthaginian Empire. In the First Punic Wars, the Romans were able to take control of it. They held on to it for many years before eventually losing it to so-called barbarian invaders. For a while, it was part of the Byzantine Empire, then after that, it fell under Arab control. For a while, it was part of an empire called the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. The history of Sicily is truly fascinating, and this is just one of its many interesting towns.
Hi, I'm at the Archeological Park outside the town of Siracusa, or Syracuse, in Sicily, in the country of Italy. Now, this site behind me is a theater built by the Greeks, and it's from an extremely interesting time in Greek history. So, as we know, after the Bronze Age collapsed, the Mycenaean palace culture collapsed. It went away, and then began a time period we call the Greek Dark Ages, where very little was happening in Greece. But we know that small Greek city-states started to rise in the hundreds of years after the Bronze Age collapse, and many of those city-states sent out colonists. Well, the city-state of Corinth sent a group of colonists here to Sicily, and they founded the town of Ortygia in the 8th century BCE. So what we're seeing behind me are the ruins of part of that town. It's truly incredible to think that 2,800 years ago, Corinth was so well organized that they could send people out to the far reaches of the Mediterranean to build new colonies. Hi everybody, I'm at a Roman theater in an archaeological park outside the city of Syracuse, or Siracusa, in Sicily. And this amphitheater demonstrates a really interesting moment in Roman history. So Syracuse had a famous gladiator school on it for many years, and so this was a great theater to come and see some future ultra-star gladiators fight in the beginning of their career, which is pretty cool. And this was one of the first theaters that was converted after Emperor Theodosius banned gladiator schools in the Roman Empire, as the Roman Empire transitioned from polytheists into monotheist Christians. And even though the gladiator games came to an end, we know that this place stayed in use for a couple more years. We don't know exactly what kind of shows were being shown, but without the gladiators, this place eventually was abandoned and later would just be used as a stone quarry.
Hi, I'm in the city of Syracuse, or Siracusa, on the island of Sicily, part of Italy. And this column behind me is more than 2,500 years old. That's amazing, right? It's a Greek column when the Greeks lived here on the island of Sicily, and it was part of the temple of Artemis. And all around me are many other columns, also from the temple of Artemis. Now, why did these survive today? Well, because just like we know today, recycling is a good thing. So later, when Sicily was no longer controlled by the Greeks, when it was controlled by the Byzantine Romans, we know the Byzantines were Christians, and they came by and took this temple of Artemis and just changed it into a Christian church. But all they really needed to do was change the decorations. They kept all of the columns, and they kept the general design of the church. And as that church passed from the Byzantines to the Normans, it became the Cathedral of Santa Lucia, which it still is today. And so we can enjoy both the Christian elements, but we can also enjoy the ancient Greek architecture of this beautiful monument.